Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly SIG Compute meeting. I'll place the agenda in the chat so you can add your points that you want to discuss over there. And we can start. Dex, you're first, right? Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hi guys. Yeah. Um, my name is Dax Kelson. First time joining this meeting. I have a VEP 366, which is a request to enable multiple concurrent VNC connections per VMI. We uh we we actually use KubeVirt for a online training platform for doing IT training, and um, students need we students and instructors need VNC access to the console. We even do stuff like Grub, like where students interact with the Grub screens, and we have an instructor dashboard where it has thumbnails of all of the students' VNC consoles. Um, so that's the use case. So so both the instructor and the students are connected to their consoles at the same time. We had this system working on another platform, and we're basically porting it to work on top of KubeVirt. Um, and so this VP um, proposes a modification. I have a PR with the sample implementation that we're using. This linked in there as well. Um, and so yeah, so we have this running. We actually have this running on our test environment. Um, so I'm not. How does this process work?
So first of all, welcome and nice meeting you. Yeah, and I mean, in terms of just the process, I think that this is great. You submitted the web really early in the cycle, so that's awesome. You might also, sorry, our schedule, which I'm trying to grab, it might also help you just in terms of the process itself. Yeah, and I see that Felix has his hand raised.
Yeah. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to
So,
meet
yeah, as you might saw, it's not the first time that something like this was requested,
you. Mm-hmm.
and there's some issues to it. And yeah, the first issue is that Keyboard or this API is not really intended to be a VDI solution. And there's one big downside to the sub-resource VNC, and that is that all of the traffic has to go through the control plane. So for every connection, every VM, or every connection to a VM, all of the traffic is routed through the control plane through multiple pods, and that's far from ideal. It's putting a load on the control plane that shouldn't be there. That's one of the concerns. And
Yeah,
another yeah.
I can talk about that, and that's actually something that we tackled separately. We did a control plane offload, but go ahead and continue.
Yeah, that offload, that's an interesting thing. And the other is that there are concerns about the security of this feature. And I mean, for you, it's the exact use case, but in other cases, it might be undesirable that a single VNC is shared by multiple connections. And so someone could observe, for example, a password being typed in by someone else, and they're blissfully unaware of that someone else is looking at their screen. So there's also security concern to that.
Yeah, I would say on that, other virtualization platforms have this feature though, the ability to concurrent console access. The way this is implemented here, it's not enabled by default, so it's something you have to opt into. So you wouldn't accidentally have this turned on. But as far as feature parity, obviously there's a ton of people that are migrating off of VMware platforms to KubeVirt right now. Yes, separate though. Back to your first thing though, we do use it as a VDI type solution for our training platform, and pushing all of that VNC pixel data through the control plane was something that we spotted right away. We actually implemented a VNC, separate from this VEP, and we have this running as well. We implemented a VNC reflector that offloads, and it moves the VNC traffic out of the control plane. And it also has the benefit of during live migration, the machines can migrate from one node to the other, and the clients, from a VNC perspective, the clients they don't even miss a beat. Like it's invisible, the migrations. Like they can be using it actively typing, and they don't lose any frames. It's the same thing you see um like in the dashboard currently when you do a live migration, you lose the console, you have to refresh the web page to get the console back again. But I don't know, I think maybe there's been some requests for that. But that's a separate sort of side complementary project that we implemented as well.
Do you plan on posting a web for this too?
I had not, I wasn't sure if that was something other people were interested in until you mentioned it, until you mentioned about this thing. I can look and see if that's something you guys are interested in. Um, I could look into getting that posted as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's something we've been looking into in the past, but never had the time to come up with a solution. So yeah, would be happy to give this a look.
Okay. Yeah, I would, yeah, let me I actually would love to get more of this upstream because we actually had to make quite a few, we made several changes to the system to make this work, both at the KubeVirt level, with this reflector, and honestly with the reflector, the, if we use the reflector, we don't even this VEP 366, I shouldn't maybe be saying this, but the reflector actually bypasses this issue with the concurrent connections. But I thought this is just a feature gap um, that other virtualization platforms have that KubeVirt's missing. And since it's opt-in, not enabled by default, and it does bring feature parity, I thought you guys would be interested. We have we
Yeah,
have
definitely.
We have some other work too, not related to KubeVirt specifically, but like on the OVN layer to enhance IPv6. Because right now there's no IPv6 prefix delegation support at the OVN layer, and so when you build networks, they'll do IPv6, but there's no support for prefix delegation. So I actually have multiple patches going in at different levels trying to get them approved.
Yeah, I see. So if you could post that web, or if you could take it perhaps to the mailing list, I see LA is also commenting on it. Yeah, it's an interesting feature to have. So would be happy to give it a closer look.
Okay, and who is talking right now? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Felix,
Okay. All right. Sure. Thank you, Felix.
All right, then. Thank you very much for that. Any other thoughts on this one before we move on? All right, so thank you, and I also will try to have a closer look on this one. All right. Next on the list is Daniel. How are you doing? You're muted.
Hey folks, first time here. Thank you for having me here. I have like a quick question about like contact points. So the thing is, we had like a quarantine PR, and we actually don't really know whether there is specific contact points for the specific parts. So at the moment, this is like the broad SIG compute overall. And I think, for example, like if there is specific things about SIG operator or specific other parts of the system, there should be probably contact points that are familiar with the overall procedure, or more into the topic somehow. And I was wondering whether I was hearing that there is something like SIG control plan building up, and I was just curious how the status is of that. So from my point of view, we just need someone to contact so that they can somehow shepherd the quarantine PRs and either accept them or even have the broad picture of where the fix is going in and whether we can halt it. That's basically what I'm thinking about.
Sorry, Daniel, I was slightly distracted and heard stick control plane. So we are standing it up at the moment. It's taking forever. That the actual roles and responsibilities of that SIG aren't really defined. But so, what examples do you have at the moment of quarantine issues that aren't being tracked by anyone, or is there anything active at the moment, or is it just looking forward?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to making it easier for contacting people on specific quarantine PRs. I've seen that you, for example, have responded on the current latest one that targets SIG operator, I think. But yeah, going forward, it would be more easy. Like since that was like the PR was open on Friday, and so until yesterday, I didn't really see someone who would basically be able to approve the fix that was already there. So that I'd rather like have a fix go in than quarantine or test. I think that's basically where I'm coming from. So that's why I'm actually curious to have more contact points for being able to approach people that can actually like approve such a thing, which I think in this case, for example, like this pull request basically needs a root approver, I think, for now. So and yeah, if there is no one from the specific SIG that can do that, then we have probably room for improvement on that side.
Yeah, like I said, it's still being stood up. So at the moment, yeah, that does just fall through to root approval. But and that there are multiple issues as well. There's been a regression that's occurred, and I'm working with Federico at the moment through trying to figure out exactly what is causing all of these flakes in SIG operator. But yeah, I don't really have a good answer for you until SIG control plane is properly stood up and it has approval rights. Like you can put me and Lubo down as chairs as points of contact, but Lubo has root approval, but you know I'm not gonna have any approval until we get the thing going and actually get that all sorted. So yeah, I don't really have a good answer. Sorry.
No, it's all fine. I'm just looking forward, and probably this is just like something that I have raised at the right room. And if people are already working on that, I'll just hold my feet and wait until until you folks are able to approve things. Should be fine. Thanks.
Well, yeah, going forward, like if you do notice similar things like this, where the SIG operator lane, for example, is flaky as hell, and there's PRs that aren't getting approved or reviewed or something like that, then compute is a fine forum for it, but probably the community call as well is probably better. It's more generic, and yeah, root approvers will likely be there as well. So yeah, let's try and use that next time, I guess. If the SIG control plane stuff hasn't started up, Jed has put in the chat as well. We do have the call 24 hours from now for SIG control plane. So yeah, I'll raise this there and try and push things along. It's been a bit stop-start again this cycle for various reasons, but yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Daniel. And Ala, I see that you're next.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to provide a quick update from the last call. Everyone here blessed the DRA beta. And we agreed that we'll try to merge the end-to-end test as soon as possible. This PR, the first one, it is in the merge pool right now. It adds 6 or 7 end-to-end tests. It was rehearsed and the tests are passing as of now. I expect this to merge relatively soon. And then, yeah, those are the tests. And we have the second PR. This is basically adding the DRA lane, a new lane to CI, and making the end-to-end test that was just showed in the previous tab a required pre-submit job. For this one, we don't have the approve and look good to me tag yet. But as far as I'm concerned, it is basically rehearsed and ready to go. So I'll work with folks to get reviews on this soon. Yeah, that's it for me, Itamar.
Thank you, and yeah, great to see this. Awesome that it's already in the merge pool. Do you have people reviewing this one? I see that there are plenty of people that are having a look, right?
Yeah, I'll need someone, probably Dylan, to approve this. I think I don't know if he's here, but Shrija or I will ping him separately as well.
All right, thanks for the update. That's great to hear.
Thanks.
Any other thoughts on this? All right, then, Aurel, I see that you are next on the list.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you please open the commit?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was looking at the Virt Launcher converter code, and I was wondering about the validation of the domain that we do here. I wanted to ask, isn't it like too late? It's in converter.gov.
What do you mean by too late?
If you can please scroll down, there is some place here, a function called here, this one, Grace IO virtualization request, not Grace, sorry, validate Grace IO, this one. Like if you've reached this state where you've already generated the domain and now it fails, like your VM will not start, but can we not catch it, I don't know, on admission or something?
There
part
are
of it we do.
admission. Sorry, Felix, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I want to mention, I think for parts of this, we do have admission webhooks. And if I recall correctly, the author mentioned something like the Grace IO converter would be touching multiple places where it's not the, let's say, authority to change those fields, and that's why it's changed after. But that's, I don't know, maybe LA or maybe someone else can comment on that.
Do we have people that were involved in this PR on the call?
No, that would not be me. It would be Fan.
Yep. We have a call on a Thursday with Fan and some other people as well. But yeah, as Felix said, admission webhooks are part of this. I'm forgetting the additional justification that he provided for needing this here. Like there was something that we couldn't check at admission time, and I'm completely forgetting what it was. But it is very late. You are right. and I think most of this is duplicated through it from the original mission checks as well. We don't actually have a call this week, but we do a week Thursday. We also have an upstream Slack channel actually, so I can go and double check with Fan about this, and if there's a follow up, yeah, I can create a bug or PR or something, and we can get rid of this if it's not needed. But yeah, I'm forgetting the context, but I'm pretty sure there was something where we kind of agreed that we would have to do something this late.
Ego, you have your hand?
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Cool. So I was reading Web 199, and the whole purpose was with like no API changes at the Kubernetes API level, at the VM API. So it was like shifted in purpose to the libvirt admission level. So unless there are any other updates regarding this web, this was like intentionally.
But this is like after the domain has already been, like templated, and now we are checking that things here, meet some criteria. Or
Sorry for barging in, but it's not related to API changes. The validation, although it's under the API, it's a validation. It's not. It's not. It's not that you change the API. Maybe you change the behavior. This is what you're saying, but this is the changing of behavior anyway.
Maybe I'm not sure, but I I can guess that maybe some of this validation can break during hot plug, maybe, or some changes to the VMI after it is created. Maybe this is why we have these validations in 2 layers, but I'm not sure.
by the way, the commit message has no info in it. Maybe going forward, we need to be more strict about getting the motivation in commit messages.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. Federico, are you on the call? Do you recall if this was related to the IO MMUFD sensing part of this? Like we had to do this late? I'll take that as a no. Yeah, all right. Is it all right if I can follow up with Fan, and we can figure out exactly what the motivation was here, and we can kind of come back to this and potentially rework if needed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just as a general statement, I think that that it makes sense to sometimes do whatever is necessary in every layer. Meaning that maybe checking only the feature gates in a webhook, and then checking other stuff in an admission policy, and checking only the things that we have to check in runtime, like convert launcher or something like that, and split it to the right layer. But I wasn't involved in this change specifically, so yeah, just a general thought. All right. So I see that we're almost at the end of the meeting, and we've gone through all of the agenda for today. So any last words from anyone before we wrap up? All right, then have a great rest of the day, and see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.